All right, guys. Yesterday we talked about how to do like the check register, keeping track of like everything that's going in and out of your checking account. Today we're going to look at, it's called reconciling a bank statement. Sounds all fancy. If you guys ever heard just balancing your checkbook, you guys ever hear your parents say that? Balancing your checkbook, balancing your accounts. It's pretty much all you're doing is looking at like, here's what has gone through the bank or cleared the bank. That's what people say. Like meaning the bank knows about it and it's like happened to your account versus what you say should happen but maybe hasn't happened yet. Like my mom yelling at me because she writes me a check and 3 months later I finally cash it. Right? Yeah, I know. Yeah. They do have like an expiration date on those. Like checks are only good for so long, so you may want to cash that. Oh yeah, cash that. See, you're as bad as me. I'm not the only one. But yeah, so when they go to balance their account, whoever wrote you that check that's going to be an outstanding check because it's still out there. They know they've written it, but like it hasn't like went through the bank yet. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, so this will make sense to you then. All right, some vocab for you guys. First thing is a bank statement. A statement that includes all transactions that have occurred for a period of approximately 1 month. So it used to be banks would send these to you in the mail, like an actual paper copy of this every month. I know my bank now, I just get an email saying that my latest bank statement's available online. Okay, so like they don't necessarily print them for you anymore. I think you have that option though when you set up your account. If you want a paper copy, they will send you one, but they don't by default send them anymore. But it'll tell you everything for the past month. It will list out for you in order everything that happened in your account, every check that you wrote that came through the bank, every debit account that you've done, right? Swiping your debit card somewhere, everything that's come out of your account. The statement period is the dates that indicate the range of dates in which the transactions occurred. So typically they're roughly a month. Depending on when you opened your account is when your statement usually comes. So if I open my account on the 15th of the month, then typically around the 15th of every month I will get a statement. Okay. Right, so the amount of money in an account at the beginning is called your starting balance, which makes sense. And again, that's at the beginning of the statement period. Could what they say your account balance was at the start be different than what you think your account balance is? Yes, because Jalen over here has that check from Christmas she still hasn't cashed. In my check registry, I would have written down that that's not in my account anymore because I wrote the check, right? I want to make sure I know that money's gone, but the bank still shows I have that money because she's sitting on that check. I know, I do it all the time. All right, the amount of money in an account at the end of a statement period is called the ending balance. That makes sense, right? The ending balance is where we will start when we go to like balance our checkbooks. Okay, we always start with what they say the ending balance is. And again, does your ending balance that you have written down going to be the same as what the bank says? Typically not, okay? Just because think about the time it takes them to make your statement and the time you actually get it and have a chance to sit down and look at it compared to what you've written down in your checkbook, it's going to vary greatly, right? If I wrote 6 checks today and my statement came yesterday, it's not going to be the same, okay? So I'm going to teach you guys how to kind of look through all of that to make sure things are okay. All right, deposits that do not appear on the bank statement are called outstanding deposits. It does not mean they're amazing and outstanding and glorious. It just means they're like still out there, right? They have not actually shown up yet. Deposits typically don't show up as outstanding as often as things that are coming out of your account. Because if I'm putting money in my account, it's usually at least within the next business day that shows up in my account. But checks that don't appear on the bank statement, like the one Jalen has not cashed yet, shows up as an outstanding check, meaning it didn't show up on my bank statement, but I know it's out there somewhere. She's feeling bad about that check now. You're going to go cash it today, aren't you? All right, and balance a checkbook or reconcile a bank statement, depending on what kind of verbiage you guys like to use. It's just the process of verifying the bank's records to make sure that no errors have been made. For banks, that is a human still inputting all of those numbers, right? They're still typing all that stuff in a computer for you. So you want to make sure that things didn't get messed up somewhere. Because it happens. Sometimes the bank will type something in wrong and they say that you have, a deposit of $200 and it should have been $2,000. They forgot a zero or something on it. Okay, so you do want to check your accounts to make sure everything's okay. Even still, you guys at your age, you know, it's not, you may not be dealing with thousands of dollars in your account, but I don't know about you, but 20 bucks is 20 bucks, right? I want to make sure everything is exactly what it should be. Even if you're just looking online, because most of it's online anymore, at least look at it every so often. How many of you actually log into your banking account once a month at least? Once a week? Okay, every day? But then that's good. Because remember what happens if you overdraw an account, they can charge you depending on the bank. Yours is 35 for every time that you do it or every day? You've only done it once, okay. But it's important though, right? So make sure you know how much money is in there at any given time and make sure everything's accurate. All right, so to balance a checkbook, you're comparing what you have written down in your check registry again versus what the bank says has come through. All right, so you're going to enter a check mark. If you remember on the registry yesterday, there was a whole like column for a little check mark. That's what it said at the top. For each deposit and each check listed, you're going to list any outstanding transactions, so anything that you did not check, and then we're going to find the total of those, and then here's kind of your step-by-step how this looks. All right, so you're going to start with the ending balance on the bank statement, and we'll go ahead and go through a couple of these examples today. You're going to add any outstanding deposits, so things that the bank says haven't gone in there yet. Subtract outstanding withdrawals, so things that you know, like Jalen's check, that you know should be coming out. I'm going to keep using your example all day. And then that should equal the revised statement balance, meaning this should now match your bank. They should match now. Okay? So that's what we're trying to get. We're trying to get the bank statement and what I say I want them to get to match. That's what we're trying to get to. Okay, so below is a bank statement and a check register for Michael, his checking account. What steps are needed to reconcile or balance Michael's bank statement? Okay, so we can see things that he had going on. This is everything he wrote in his check register. And then this is a snippet of what the bank says has actually gone through. Okay, so this is kind of like a little checkoff game. That's what we're doing. We're checking things off. So typically a bank statement will list for you like all of your deposits, and then it will list all of the withdrawals. So deposits are all the money going in, withdrawals is everything coming out. So typically they kind of split those into groups. All right, so we're going to kind of check things off as we go. So I show a deposit for $35. Do you see that on his bank statement? Do you see a deposit for $35? Yeah. Remember, your deposits are in this column, right? There's the 35. It's on 11/5. It shows it on 11/5. Should the dates be exact every single time? So on Christmas, somebody wrote her a check. Is it going to clear on Christmas? No. So the dates may not match exact. Okay, so don't get hung up on the dates. Okay, but the amounts, and they should roughly, if people did things fast, they should roughly be the same. All right, so let's go ahead and check this off. We have the 35 there, and we're going to check it off here to make sure we know that that one is checked, that one's cleared the bank, right? That one's gone through. I know that money's good. All right, we have a deposit of 100, so we'll check it off on here, and we're going to check it here. We know that one's good. And then we're into the withdrawals. A withdrawal for $158.08. Okay, I can see that here. Also, that was a check 1770. I do have check numbers written here, so I can kind of just make sure that it's what it's supposed to be. So 158.08, check. And I have 46.50. 46.50. There it is. Whew, my brain was not seeing that one. 74.64. Check, check. 19.50. Thank you. Oh my gosh, I can't see today. All right, now they say I have an ending balance of 628.23. If you look, ending balance I have in my register is 641.13. That's not the same. So this is where that process we need to go through. Okay, so let's go ahead and look through and see what was not checked off. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to go through. Now notice some of these already had check marks in them originally. All right, but I have a $50 withdrawal here. So let's kind of make a list. Withdrawals, I have a 50. I have an 18, 2910, and I have a 15. All right, and then do we have any deposits that did not clear? See, that one's checked, that one's checked, that one's checked. I have a 125. So this is how this process works, right? You go through, you check off everything the bank says it's gone through. Then I look back through any withdrawals that I did not check, any deposits I did not check off, and we're going to total those up. So let's total our withdrawals. So 50, 18, 29, 10, and 15. So 112.10 is outstanding withdrawals. All right, so if you go back to that other page we just looked at, start with your ending balance, add the outstanding deposits, subtract the outstanding withdrawals, which would make sense, right, what we do with that kind of stuff. So my ending balance, I'm going to start with that. So 628.23. We're going to subtract any withdrawals. So I'm going to subtract 112.10, and then I'm going to add my deposits, 125, and see what we get. So 628.23 minus 112.10 plus 125. So I get 641.13. So the question is, did my account balance? Meaning, does it match what I say? Look at the final balance I have down here. 641.13, 641.13. If it's accurate and everything checked out, they should be the same. How are we feeling? Make sense? But you always need to make sure you start with the ending balance on the bank statement. Okay? Not yours, the bank statement. All right. So example 2, Nancy has a balance of $1,078 in her check register. So she says that's how much money she has. The balance on her bank account statement is $885.84. Not reported on her bank statement are deposits of $575 and $250, and 2 checks for $195 and $437.84. Is her check register balanced? Explain. So same idea as the last one, just we don't have all that paperwork showing. So let's make a list. What withdrawals are still outstanding that did not clear the bank? Good. Those are the checks that are still out there. So 195 and 437.84. What deposits do we have that have not cleared? Good. In other words, these are things that we would not have checked off in our check registry. All right, so let's total those. So 195 plus 437.84. We have 632.84. Here, 575 and 250, 825. All right, so what number do I start with? Good. We always start with the bank account ending balance. So 885.84. We are going to do what with the withdrawals? Subtract those. So minus 632.84. And then what about deposits? We're going to add those and see what we get. So 885.84 minus the 632.84 plus the 825. We get 1,078. Did her account balance? Yes or no? Yes. Why? It matches. Yeah. As long as those numbers match, it balanced. We're good. Now, if you go through that and it doesn't match, then no, it doesn't balance. It means there's probably an error somewhere. Okay? either an error on the bank or an error on your check registry that maybe you added or subtracted something incorrectly. Or like yesterday, some of you had problems because you just wrote the wrong numbers down. That happens too. Okay, so use Tina Weaver's monthly statement and check register to reconcile her accounts, meaning to balance. Okay, now there's a bunch of questions up here. We'll get to those in a minute. Let's actually do the whole check-off process. If you guys don't mind, I'm going to move this up here. Can't see everything down there. Okay, so this is where you're playing your check-off game, right? I'm going to check things off. So we have a withdrawal for $79. 79. It's 600. $651.10. Here's that one. $12. It's like you're playing a matching game, right? One. Oh, come on. It could be worse. Good luck with that. All right. So once we go through, we're going to go ahead and see what we got going on here. So what outstanding withdrawals do we have? Oh, you were already adding. Gotcha. Although I heard a 50 cents in there. Gotcha. I need to go back to bed. All right, so we had 50 and 39. So that gives me 89. All right, what about deposits? Good. That'd be, yep, the only one, so 700. All right, and they showed an ending balance of 1434.19. What do I do with the withdrawals? Subtract those. And then deposits, we're going to add that. And we're going to see if this thing works. So 1434.19 minus the 89 plus the 700. 2045.19. Does it balance? Yeah, look, 245.19, 245.19. As long as they match, we know we're good. Now, there were some questions up here at the top. What is the ending balance on the statement? 1434.19. What is the total of the outstanding deposits? 700. What is the total of the outstanding withdrawals? What is the revised statement balance? Good, that's just whatever we were trying to get it to be. 2045.19. What is the balance of the check register? 2045.19. Does the account reconcile? Yes. So questions up there, but I really have to break them down piece by piece? No, we already did that. But you'll have a homework problem tonight that's like that, where it asks you every single little question. Just balance it first, and then you can go back and answer the questions. How are we feeling so far? Tired. Good to know. Okay.